Hello, welcome to another episode of World's World. This time I'm taking a look at Sierra Design's Meteor 3000. It's one of the 30 products that made it into our green gear guide over on Outdoors Magic. World's World. This isn't necessarily a new tent, but it's kind of like a beefing up of an original design. Sierra Designs have basically taken their original Meteor tent and made it suitable for the kind of conditions we get in the UK and in Northern Europe. Most notably, they've upped the flysheet's hydrostatic head from 1,800mm to 3,000mm. That's why they call it the Meteor 3000. I've been out in the Preseli Hills with it recently and I've been really impressed. It's a tent with loads and loads of space, but not really much of a weight penalty either. And there's a bunch of nifty little design features as well. Meteor 3000, Meteor 3000, Meteor 3000. Meteor 3000. They've also swapped in a bunch of excellent eco materials to make the Meteor's footprint on the environment much lower. For instance, it's completely free of those nasty PFCs you often see in tent waterproofing, and instead they've swapped in a durable water repellent that's much kinder to the environment. On top of that, all of the fabrics used across the Meteor come from recycled sources as well. You know, there aren't many tent brands out there that are doing that kind of stuff, so top marks to Sierra Designs there. I found the Meteor pretty easy to put up. I had to have one quick glance at the instructions, but it still took me about 6 minutes first time, so not bad. Inner pitch first tents obviously aren't ideal in the kind of conditions we often get here in the UK, but I did find that the fly sheet was quick and easy to attach, so you don't have to leave the mesh inner too exposed if it is raining. The materials are all clearly great quality. You've got a 68D polytaffeta fly and floor. We've got 15D mesh, DAC aluminium poles, and then 10 lightweight stakes or pegs, whatever you call them. I like the fact there are tabs to hold back the fly sheet doors. You've also got tabs on the mesh inner to hold back the doors there. I also love the fact that there are loads and loads of pockets on the inside. You've got a bunch of storage options to make sure you can just keep your tent nice and tidy. I think the design is very similar to Big Agnes's Copper Spur 2. It's inner pitch first, it's freestanding, semi-geodesic, and it's got that one short pole across the roof. This is actually one of the roomier two-person tents I've come across. You've got the two very large porches on either side, which leave loads of space for storing your kit and if you want to cook in them as well. And then you've got that large sleeping area as well. There's plenty of space for two people to live together comfortably in this. Steep sidewalls as well and a high ceiling, so loads of room to sit up. If you tend to get a little bit antsy with people when you're sharing a tent with them on the trail, this might be the tent you want to consider. It's a very livable tent. That's what I call it, a livable tent. I don't think that space comes at that much of a penalty weight-wise either. At 2,126 grams, this is still a pretty lightweight tent. Right, I'm about to pause and flash up the weights of a bunch of similar tents now. Okay, let's get back to it. As often seems to be the case with American tents, there's a massive gap between the base of the fly sheet and the ground, and that leaves loads of space for airflow. That has its obvious benefits when it comes to warm weather use, but I think it's probably what makes this tent unsuited to winter use. I think it would also be a bit stretched on the edges of the shoulder season, so start of spring and end of autumn. It's exactly the same case with other US tents within the same category, so the Nemo Hornet, the Big Agnes Copper Spur, and the MSR Hubba Hubba. So here's something pretty nifty. There is the option to properly open the tent up if the weather permits it. Not only can you roll back the doors on either side, but you can also roll back half of the fly sheet if you wanted to, say, lie in bed and stargaze or watch the sunrise or sunset. And if the rain does suddenly roll in unexpectedly, you can quickly and easily just have it back to normal. I haven't quite had a chance to test this out in any really nasty winds yet, but I have had some great camps in the Welsh Hills with it from September through to October in some unseasonably bad weather. The structure is naturally sturdy and there's plenty of guying points as well, though I would suspect if there's really strong winds, I can imagine the sidewalls, because they're so tall, I can imagine them bending in a little bit. So far, the Meteor has served me very well though. I've stuck a link to my written review down in the description below, and I'll update that once I have a chance to test it out in some really nasty conditions. Oh, by the way, packing it away is super easy as well. That's thanks to the big burrito style opening, which is basically a long lengthways wide mouth on the stuff sack. So all of that, basically the whole length. Then there's a draw cord and adjustment straps as well, so you can really get this into a nice, neat, compact package. Considering the performance, the space, the good quality materials, and all those eco-friendly aspects as well, 230 quid is pretty good value in my opinion. I can't really think of any other tents that are as good as this at that price level. Yes, there are a number of options from Van Gogh that are cheaper, but they definitely don't match up to this in terms of quality or sustainability. I'd say as well that as a US brand, I think you've got to give credit to Sierra Designs for making a tent that is designed specifically for Northern European campers. So all in all, a very impressive So all in all, a very impressive offering from Sierra Designs. Well, I hope you found that useful, and I might have answered any questions you have about the Sierra Designs Meteor 3000. If there's something I haven't covered though, feel free to ask me in the comments below. I'd be happy to help. Thanks very much for watching. Catch you next time. Meteor or Meteor? What do you call it? Meteor or Meteor?